So let's talk again about the services that a property manager provide to you, landlord that rent you homes, and what is this charge justify? Renting a property, anybody can rent a property. You put it on Zillow, you put it for rent by owner sign. People call you, you show the house, you rent it to them, and then you give them your bank account so they can send you the rent every month. Big mistake. And then they call you once in a while when there's a problem, and you go over there, and basically that's it. And it seems that easy, but there's a lot more involved. And I want to let you know, owner, that rental property is regulated by local and federal laws of the state of Florida. And there's some requirements that you have to comply when you are renting your property. When you're renting your property, this property is now considered a business, and you have to have some licenses that if you don't, it can cost you thousands of dollars. So what does a property manager do? The property manager get your property, take the pictures, do the inspections, market your home all over the internet, right? And receive the phone calls, schedule the views. We don't have to wait when you are off work. We don't have to wait when you are have the time to. We are available. We are available 7 days a week, and most of the time is after hours, and that is what you do. We do also screen the tenant. We call the previous landlord. We find out if they are working. We call it income verification. We check the criminal background in the state and national. We check for evictions, and we check for sex offenders in all of the nation, even if they don't have a social security in Florida. Now, after this tenant is approved, we call you and we tell you we found this and this and that, and you agree as well. Then we prepare a list that are prepared by Florida real estate lawyers that contains the clause that you need to in order to make this contract legal. Then we go to start collecting the rent every month, and we do accounting. That is something that you don't have to pay separate. You need to have an accounting of the money that comes in and the money that comes out every month. And not only that, you have to divide your expenses in categories. Which ones are services, government services, fees, taxes? Which one were repairs? Which one were improvements? All of that is very important that you provide to your accounting with an annual report so he can do your taxes. If you don't have that report, the account has to prepare it for you, and he is going to start asking for, you have to save all the receipts of the paint that you bought, remember all of the things that you do so you can provide your account the information that he needs to prepare your taxes. Now, property maintenance, sometimes there is 24/7 emergencies that we have to respond. We have to respond 24/7. But in order to avoid these emergencies, you have to do property inspections every 3 or so months to make sure that they're changing the AC filter, to make sure that the house is being taken care. Now, one of the important things here with the managing a property is the tenant communication, because they also ask for things that you don't know if you are supposed to do or not. Tenants, okay, they will always ask for you to paint the house, to change the carpets, to I want a new fridge, or things like that. But you have to learn and you have to understand what are the things that you really have to replace and what are the things that you do not have to replace, and how to handle those communications with the tenants to make sure that you are in a good relation with them, but at the same time, you are protecting your investment and your finances, because that is very important. Now, when this talking about tenant being happy, tenant retention is something very important in real estate, in property management, because every time a tenant leave, we are talking that you lose at least 2 months of rent minimum, because you have to always do some minus repairs, depends how long they were there. You have to clean, you have to connect the utilities again in your name. Now you are in charge of paying for the loan to be cut, and the property stay vacant, so we have to start the advertising again, and then the person start paying 1 month after the move-in. So that that is very costly. So it's very important for you to retain the tenant. And in order for you that, again, you have to have clear communication skills, and you have to understand how to communicate with the tenant in a way that he stay in your property without causing damages and without causing legal problems for you. Now, legal problems can come. There's time that you have to evict this tenant because he's not paying, he's damaging the property, he has their families living there. So a property manager coordinate this eviction for you. We know how to contact the sheriff, we know how to fill the paperwork, we know what is the order of the event and the times and the days that you have to do in order for this to go well in a court of law. Eviction coordination is one of the important things, and I also mentioned the financial reports. Every month you get a financial report, and at the end of the year you get an annual one together with your W-9, which is to report your income. So we do report your income, and then we give you the report of the expenses. And with that, you are completely covered. Now, one of the most important and the most, I will say, number one is the legal compliance. A lot of owners doesn't know about the fair housing law, the disabilities laws, and the lead in the house, uh, something related to the mold damages. So all of those things are very important because you want to be in compliance. There are local and federal laws, as I mentioned, that control how do you rent your property and how did you manage and deal with your residents. And if you are in violation of the fair housing laws, you can be sued and you can be spend time in jail. You have to be careful with who you allow or you don't allow in your property. And we talk about this service animals, emotional support animals. You don't want kids in the house. You have to be very careful. How did you manage your rental property? And again, as properties specialists with investors, we help you do the math and maintain you a good inventory of the properties that you want to rent, and doing your return of income. When you get a property, you know how much you're going to buy the property, and we help you with that return of income report, so you know if you're doing a good investment or not, investment or not. Again, that small fee that you pay monthly is covering a lot, and most of all is protecting your investment and make sure that you get a positive flow or cash flow in your property and that your property continue to improve in value. Follow us in Instagram and Facebook and give us a call if you have more questions. Thank you.